Chairman, and we all got up early and traveled here today. What I've learned so far, and what I've learned since serving on the committees, starting my service here in the 118th Congress, has made me very aware of a serious problem that we have in this country. Our nation is being invaded, laws are being ignored, and young people are dying. We are at war, and we don't even know it. And this is not a stunt. I mean, and I think the name is appropriate. I mean, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America is supposed to protect the American people. I mean, national security should be number one. This administration, including Secretary Mayorkas and Attorney General Garland, are ignoring the current immigration laws of this land and handcuffing the very people from enforcing it. In 1971, then President Nixon declared war on drugs in America. Under the Reagan administration, President Reagan reinforced and expanded many of Nixon's war on drugs. In 1984, his wife, Nancy Reagan, launched the Just Say No. In 1986, under President Reagan, Congress passed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which established mandatory minimum prison sentences for certain drug offenses, which is the very thing we're talking about and begging for here today, is to deal with this enemy. And then again, talking about the people in South America, there are a lot of churches in my district that have missionaries in South America. I've been there with my children. These are good people. Now, we poured floors in huts that had floors of mud. We built latrines where they didn't have bathrooms. We planted churches. We built churches. We built schools. And let me tell you, these people of faith have the strongest faith I've ever seen in my life. They love their country, but unfortunately their country is run by corrupt leaders and cartels who absolutely, it's an abomination what they do to their people. And they, they want to stay there in their country. The thing that that really gets me is, why can't we solve this problem? I mean, we got good people that want, I believe, the same thing, but it's like, how do we get there? Mr. Judd, what will it take for you to secure that border? I mean, if we give you full authority, if I were President of the United States and I said, secure that border, what would you do?
I've lived through it already. I know what's necessary. We need policy.
You know exactly what needs to be done.
We need policy,
okay.
Absolutely.
Is anybody in the White House listening to you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, all right. The cartels, we've already learned what they're about and whether they should be declared terrorist organizations. I have co-signed that AUMF to declare war on those cartels, and I think we need to take your advice because they are very, very they are bad people.
They are.
My question is, how many of the cartels have infiltrated the United States?
There's plenty of testimony, there's plenty of evidence to show that they operate here in the United States. They don't just operate in Mexico, they don't just operate in China, they operate here in the United States. Once it crosses the border illegally, then it's facilitated by those organizations throughout the entire United States, whether that's Iowa, whether that's Minnesota, whether that's Michigan. It doesn't matter, it's everywhere, including Maine.
Obviously, there are crime syndicates all over the country. The FBI has been very successful in dealing with that through history. And obviously, I think we need to bring the FBI in and see really what they're doing to help you and the sheriff to deal with this. Because we take an oath to the Constitution to protect the American people against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And we need, as a Congress, to get it done. Thank you for being here in your testimony, and with that, I yield back. Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
gentlemen, for yielding back. And now